SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. There's a pretty crap day to be honest with you, but I've not been able to make the video this morning. Just too busy with kids, swimming lessons, all this sort of loads of stuff. But managed to get a little bit of time now. I've seen a little bit of liquidation going on in the short-term time frames on the old crack trading charts. We started below all major moving averages, so it's reasonable to assume that we do continue with this general direction, given the fact that all time frames of any significance point down. We'd be looking to generate a short signal here on the 4 hourly if we close a 4 hourly below this cloud area, which is roughly about 19,000. So if we start closing around 18,900, short signal on the 4 hourly would have been kicked in at that point, and we'd be waiting for that to play probably over next week. However, it doesn't have to happen this way because there are other reasons to think that we might bounce before. We'll go into that in a minute. But if we did start to break down, where is it likely to go down to initially? So I don't think we're looking for a massive, huge, epic drop straight away, all the way down to, what, 16,000 or wherever these areas of significance are that we've marked out. So in a nutshell, 16, 14, 12. So they're all on the cards, obviously, but they don't have to get met straight away. We'll be looking at this on a 3-day for what could be a bounce from a lower zone, and I mean a lower zone, lower than this previous wick of what, 17,640. So we'll be thinking about this in terms of a Bollinger Band strategy. So coming down all the way to this Bollinger Band down here. That'll be about 17,000-ish area, maybe even the upper 16s, as it would be a wick. We've seen that the Bollinger Bands on the 3-day drew us back in, and we'll be looking for the same sort of reaction again for around these levels. So might be dipping our toes into the 16s if we were to start to really pick up pace on this, and we might do that. Now I'll show you reasons why, but first a bounce could be generated on this 3-day from the bullish divergence, which is still technically in play despite coming down to this extent. Now if we move ourselves back to other charts like the S&P 500, we're still dancing around on that 200 weekly. So in the past, the 200 weekly moving average has had a decent reaction for the S&P. It doesn't have to, obviously, because in the last two crashes, the first one, or the last major crash that happened in 2008, did have a decent reaction from around here. It wasn't enormous, and this is why we think about things like the last bounce before the crash. So if you were to have bought the 200 exponential here, yeah, you would have gone down a little further, but initially you would have been up, down before you went up to the tune of 12%. But the dot-com bubble didn't have that kind of reaction. We kind of went straight down and then wicked back up and then back down and down and down and down we go. So that's only the S&P. If we have a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we've already closed below that 200 weekly, and in fact we actually got a rejection on it. That's not a good look. Also the Nasdaq been brought down by Apple is one of the main ones that brought this down, and actually closing on this major area of support on a horizontal basis. Again, it's not a good look for it either. So there's reasons to assume that, to be fair, maybe the crash is going to happen first before anything else. Like I say, we've been touting the idea of a bounce before the crash or just a crash, but the main thing to take home is we've talked about a crash, whether you bounce first, and again we've balanced the risk to reward, which is pretty small. The reward is not particularly good trying to get involved in anything in a spot position, at least anyway, from these levels. Just because we might go into the crash straight away. Of course we might. We've been talking about it for quite a while now. This is one of the main reasons I sat the market out throughout the whole of September, and I'm still sitting it out at the moment. Really, I'm only doing futures derivatives trading. Not really looking to do much more than that. Back around here, this is where we did the everything bounce. That was a lot better. That was spots and derivatives and all over the place. That was a great time. That was a really, really good setup. That's why I made a song and dance about it. Things became a little more unclear around this area, which is why we're more or less sitting this situation out, really, especially with the forex markets looking the way they are, which makes you really, really do, so I suppose, worry about what the hell's going to happen in the world over the next 6 months. I don't want to sit the market out for 6 months, but I'm happy to continue sitting in cash at the moment for spot, especially for crypto and stocks. You see, so I'm not really looking to invest the large chunk of my spot accounts into anything, just because we may receive a bounce before a crash. I mean, it's kind of madness. But futures trading, that's different story. I'm okay to do that, you know, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, spot positions kind of could end in very, very big tears right now. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to wait for the markets to open. However, if we do start to dribble down like this on the Sunday, it's not a good look for traditional markets, because crypto, especially Bitcoin, is traded pretty high these days. I mean, I remember, yes, if we were to ever see something like this, which is not an enormous amount of trading volume these days, just for Binance alone, 3.29 billion in a 24-hour period. Dollars, that's unbelievable. So that's a ridiculous sum of money just to be traded casually on a Sunday, the day of rest of all days. So yeah, I mean, it's almost an indicator in itself for moving into the it's almost like a pre-market for traditional markets I've seen. And so if we do start to close this today further down, especially if we close below 19 into the 18,000s, that's I strongly believe that that's going to have a snowballing effect on traditional markets, which again affects crypto through association with that. It's almost like a vicious circle, and we'll see at least tomorrow when we open traditional markets that we'll have further downside to the red, and it might actually be an aggressive one, due to the fact that the S&P is at support, all the other indexes are actually below support, major support. That 200 weekly is a big deal, and obviously Bitcoin gets dragged down massively with all of that. So we've already worked out to the first point of roughly bouncing below our previous wick, so maybe dipping our toes into the 16,000s or so, and that was on your 3-day Bollinger Band kind of area. Now, it might not happen. We've got to make sure that the divergence still is intact, and again, it's going to be difficult to see that on a 3-day because it's a 3-day, of course. But yeah, I would still say let's continue to sit this market out. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting this market out with spot. I'm willing to play derivatives as and when signals are materialised, but overall, it's not a spot trader's environment at all. Unless you're looking to buy for the long term and prepared to take it on the chin in the short term. It's not a favourable spot trading environment at all. But like I say, that comes as no big surprise. We've been saying that for a while. So yeah, like I say, I'll continue to sit this market out, although we've already started a new month. Technically, it's only very just begun. So, you know, sitting out September, maybe I'll be sitting out October as well. As far as the bull market beginning and a bottom being planted on the Bitcoin's 4-year market cycle, it could be any time from now to as late as December at the latest. So there is still plenty of time for new lows to be formed on this. And if they're not formed by then, if they keep going down by after December, then we're really looking at a serious problem. But as far as its own cycle is concerned, by December a low should be in and a bull market should have begun. And so the best thing to do is, I suppose, if you're uncertain or unwilling to commit capital, wait for those kind of signals to be generated. Now, if we do start to move up again and start to close above that major pivotal area of 19,700, which is this boxy zone, it's also the Bollinger Band center, it's also your 21 exponential, then yeah, things can start to change at that point, and that would also involve traditional markets. We'd need to see those sort of having their last bounce before the dip, and the dip and the bounce could start to take us up to some significant areas. But as of this very moment in time, as we watch these charts on an hourly, 4-hourly, daily, 3-daily, or whatever, doesn't look particularly favourable for a spot trader. So, like I say, sit the market out still. I know it's a new month, but we'll still sit it out. Things are looking a little bit squeaky bum time when it comes to weeklies on indices, and obviously Bitcoin looks like a pile of turds, basically. So we'll wait it out and see what's coming this week. As I said on the last video yesterday, next week is going to be a big week regardless, whether it's a big week for the up or the big week for the down, and it might be a big week for the down and then the up, which is where we might see that bullish divergence kick in on a 3-day that could bring us up to a new high. But until we see it, or at least we get some traditional markets, some forex, some indices, and some commodity prices start to tick along, which isn't going to happen until tomorrow. I wouldn't want to trade on Sunday. This is the day of rest, isn't it? So let it be that. Stick some rubbish telly on and hang out with your kids. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day, and take it easy.